Myself, Manoj Kumar, Senior Technician, Department of Anesthesia, PGIMER, Chandigarh. Respected Chairperson for this session, and dear friends, first of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this conference, Technocon 2022, for giving me this opportunity to present my topic, oxygen therapy devices, for all of you. And one thing I want to add, that we will cover all the devices. During this presentation, which we use in outside OT, especially emergency rooms, ICUs, high dependency units, etc. I think there is some technical issue. Dheeraj ji? Next. Okay, sorry for the trouble, some technical error as usual. So, what is oxygen therapy? Oxygen therapy is the administration of oxygen at the concentrations greater than that in room air to treat hypoxia. In an effort to increase the fraction of inspired oxygen concentration available to a patient, a variety of oxygen delivery devices are employed to administer medical oxygen. The oxygen may be administered with or without humidity. So these are some indications for oxygen therapy. Most common is hypoxemia, increased work of breathing, increased cardiac work, pulmonary hypertension, transport of patients on continuous oxygen therapy, post-GA, that is short-term oxygen therapy. So what are the goals of oxygen therapy? The major goal is to achieve adequate tissue oxygenation using the lowest possible FiO2. The clinical goals of oxygen therapy are treating hypoxemia, decreasing the work of breathing, decreasing the myocardial work. So for oxygen therapy, we need to use some delivery methods, and there are two oxygen delivery methods. One is low flow oxygen delivery system, and the other one is high flow oxygen delivery systems. The low flow oxygen delivery systems are of variable performance, and they are patient dependent. They do not provide a constant or known concentration of inspired oxygen every time. The high flow oxygen delivery systems are fixed performance. They are patient independent, provide the total inspired oxygen air mixture. Specific percentage of inspired oxygen is delivered constantly and independently. So here we will discuss some devices we commonly use for oxygen therapy. First one is nasal prong or nasal cannula. As you see in picture, this is simple plastic tubing with nasal prongs with an over-the-ear adjustments. Size available for adults, children, and infants. These are available in all sizes. FiO2 increases approximately 3 to 4% with every liter of O2 flow increases. And flow above the 5 liter per minute is less tolerated by patients. This is nasal prong. One patient is using nasal prongs, and this. So this table shows the flow with corresponding FiO2 achieved with the flow rate. And as you can see, with 6 liter per minute flow, we can achieve up to maximum 44% FiO2 with nasal prongs. And here we have to take measures that correct placement of nasal prongs is very important. If you you should be careful that there is no nasal obstruction. You can see these nasal prongs can be easily obstructed by nasal flares. So these are some advantages of nasal prongs. This is common in inexpensive device, easy to apply, does not interfere with eating or talking, relatively comfortable, permits freedom of movement, well tolerated by patients. And some disadvantages of nasal prong is delivers relatively low concentration of FiO2, that is in the range of 24 to 44% at the rate of 2 to 6 liters per minute. Above 6 liters per minute, patient tends to swallow air and feels uncomfortable, so FiO2 cannot be increased beyond the certain level. And drying of mucosa is another problem faced with nasal prongs. Around 80% of oxygen gets wasted during expiration. Next is nasopharyngeal catheter. As you see in this picture, this is nasopharyngeal catheters, and this is soft tube with several distal holes available in 8 to 14 French gauge sizes. Catheter is lubricated before insertion and is inserted into the patient nose to the depth equal to the distance from external layers to tragus. As you can see in this picture, the length is measured before insertion of nasal catheter. Oropharynx act as an anatomical reservoir. Limitations of nasopharyngeal catheter are less popular due to complexity, limited use in external mucus secretions, patient non-cooperation due to gag or cough on insertion. Nasal obstructions, sinusitis, and skin irritations are potential complications of nasal catheter. This slide shows the positioning of nasal catheter while it is in place. Next is oxygen hood, mostly used for babies, small babies who can breathe on their own but still needs extra oxygen. A hood is a plastic dome or box with warm and moist oxygen inside. The hood is placed over the baby's head, as you can see in this picture. Next is oxygen tank. Oxygen tank is oxygen tank is a consistent canopy placed over the head and shoulders over the entire body of a patient to provide oxygen at a higher level than normal. Typically, the tent is made of see-through plastic material. It can envelop the patient's bed with end sections held in place by a mattress to ensure that tent is all airtight. The enclosure often has a side opening with a zipper. So coming next is face mask. We most commonly use face mask for oxygen therapy in our patients in emergency areas, ICUs, and high dependency unit, etc. So there are 3 types of face mask available. One is simple face mask, that is most commonly used. High concentration masks, these can be partial rebreathing face mask or non-rebreathing face mask. We will discuss it later in next slide. And another one is Venturi mask. This is a simple face mask. It has vent on the sides to leak the room air in and thereby diluting the oxygen. These vents also allow the exhaled CO2 to escape from the mask. Used when oxygen therapy is needed for shorter period of time, delivers oxygen concentrations at the rate of 40 to 60% at the rate of 5 liters per minute to 8 liters per minute respectively. Never use at the flow rate than 5 liters per minute due to risk of CO2 retention. Simple face mask advantages. This is less expensive again and can be used in mouth breathers. Disadvantages क्या है? Uncomfortable है, require tight seal, do not deliver high FiO2. FiO2 varies with breathing efforts, interfere with eating, drinking, communication, difficult to keep in position for long. Such chances of rebreathing are high. Next one is partial rebreathing face mask. These masks are mask with reservoir bag of capacity of 1 liter. Oxygen flow directly into the reservoir bag, which fills during exhalation. Designed in such a way that it captures exhaled gases from initial part of expiration from the dead spaces. Useful in situations where supplies are limited. Deliver an FiO2 between 0.6 to 0.8 A minimum of 8 liter flow of oxygen should enter the mask to remove exhaled CO2 and to refill oxygen reservoir bag. Flow rate must be sufficient to keep bag 1/3 to almost half inflated at all the times. This is the picture of partial rebreathing face mask, and this slide show the different parts of partial rebreathing face mask. As you can see, fresh gas oxygen entering from this point, and it's going to reservoir bag, and simultaneously it's going to patient, and these are vents for expired gases. So next is non-rebreathing face mask. Deliver the high oxygen concentration around 95% at the flow rate of 10 to 15 liters per minute. There is a 2 liter reservoir bag with one-way valve which prevents the room air or patient exhaled air entering into the bag. Desirable in cases where rebreathing of CO2 would be detrimental, for example, after head injury patients. Here, this diagram shows the difference between partial rebreathing face mask and non-rebreathing face mask. You can see there is a one-way valve between the face mask and reservoir bag. It prevents the expired gases to go to reservoir bag. This provides with one-way valve between mask and bag. Bag exhalation ports. Higher oxygen supply rates are required for this non-rebreathing face mask. Ideally, non-rebreathing face mask should not allow entrainment of air, but because of safety concerns, one or two exhalation ports is not provided with one-way valve. Advantages are highest possible FiO2 without intubation, suitable for spontaneously breathing patients with severe hypoxia. Disadvantages are expensive, require tight seal, uncomfortable, interfere with eating and drinking, not suitable for long-term use, malfunction, can cause CO2 buildup or suffocation. Next is Venturi mask. We people use this Venturi mask most commonly in our operation theatre and post anesthesia care units. This is based on Venturi modification of Bernoulli principle. The plastic body of mask with holes on both sides. The proximal end of the mask consists of a Venturi device. The Venturi device are color coded and marked with the recommended oxygen flow rate to provide the desired oxygen concentration. Alternatively, a calibrated adjustable Venturi device like this one can be used to deliver the desired FiO2. Venturi mask delivers O2 concentrations varying from 24% to 60% at a flow rate of 4 liters per minute to 10 liters per minute. These are different color-coded Venturi mask connectors. These delivers different FiO2 concentrations to patients, and starting from 24% to 60%. These are color-coded. Now, these two pictures shows the orifice of connectors. The connector which delivers low FiO2 is narrow in orifice, and this is wider one. This is adjustable Venturi valve. Deliver fixed concentration of oxygen. FiO2 delivered can be 0.24 to 0.6. Because of high fresh gas flow rate, the exhaled gases are rapidly flushed from the mask via its holes. Therefore, there is no rebreathing and no increase in dead space. These masks are recommended when a fixed oxygen concentration is desired in a patient whose ventilation is dependent on hypoxic drive. Advantages of Venturi mask are fine control of FiO2 at fixed flow, fixed, reliable and precise FiO2. High flow comes from the air, saving the oxygen cost, can be used for low FiO2 also, help in deciding whether the oxygen requirement is increasing or decreasing. Disadvantages are uncomfortable, cannot deliver high FiO2, interfere with eating and drinking like other masks. Next one is high flow nasal cannula. This high flow nasal cannula we have used extensively in COVID patients over the first and second wave of COVID when oxygen therapy saved many lives. So it delivers heated and humidified oxygen via special devices. Rates up to 8 liters per minute in infants and up to 40 liters per minute in children and adults. In patients with respiratory distress or failure, oxygen by humidified high flow nasal cannula may be better tolerated than by face mask. This is the picture of high flow nasal cannula showing one patient is being given oxygen therapy by this HFNC. So this is the diagram of high flow nasal cannula. You can see this is oxygen flow meter. This is air oxygen blender, and after air oxygen blender, its oxygen air mixture is going to humidifier for heating purpose, and through circuit it is going to nasal cannula to the patients. So high flow washes out carbon dioxide in anatomical dead space, creates positive nasopharyngeal pressure. FiO2 remains relatively constant because gas is generally warm to 37 degrees centigrade and completely humidified. Okay, ma'am. Last one. Okay, one last slide, ma'am. Humidified mucociliary functions remains good and little discomfort is reported. So, what are the factors to determine the system to use? Most common factors to determine which system we should use are patient comfort, acceptance by the patient, target level of FiO2, requirement to control FiO2 in a certain range, minimal resistance to breathing, efficient and economical use of oxygen, humidification and nebulization required or not. One thing here is to remember that any flow greater than 4 liters per minute is required humidification mandatorily. What are the precautions of oxygen therapy? There are no absolute complications or contraindications, but some commonly noticed complications are induced hypoventilation, oxygen toxicity, absorption atelectic liquid, drying of nasal and pharyngeal mucosa by use of dry oxygen for a prolonged period, skin irritation or reactions to the material of face mask or devices, nasal obstructions, especially in infants and children, aspiration of vomitus more likely when a mask is in place, fire hazards. And this is my institute. This building is utilized for treating COVID patients in my institute, PGIMER Chandigarh. We have treated around 10,000 patients in this building. This is dedicated COVID hospitals in my institute. And out of those 10,000 patients we treated with oxygen therapy, more than 2,100 patients were admitted in ICUs. Thank you so much.